Hello and welcome back to another average racing gamer video. Today we're going to be doing Daily Race C, which is the Le Mans circuit, minus the chicanes. It's just the straight run down the Mulsanne. So we will be using our GR Supra racing concept for the Group 3 race. And we've only got time for a single qualifying lap for our first run. So I won't make you suffer a whole lap that's not particularly good. So as we come into the Ford chicane, taking it nice and steady on this lap because, like I said, I haven't got a lap time in and we don't have time for a second lap. So we're just making sure we get a lap in. And a 3:42.8. So here we are at the grid, and we are starting in P12. And unfortunately that does mean that we start in the middle of the second half of the Ford chicane. So we lose touch of the guys in front and we are under pressure from the guys behind. But never mind, we are off and away for our 5 laps around the Le Mans circuit with one mandatory pit stop. So we're racing with a guy who has no concept of spatial awareness. Yeah, so as we went into the first chicane, he just aimed for the apex, forgetting that I was right next to him. It wasn't like I was diving from nowhere. I was right next to him. But never mind, he goes slightly off circuit. He will get a half-second penalty for that. Just letting him know that I'm still right behind him. And we, as we head down the Mulsanne, pick up the slipstream. Basically just holding position really. As we come up to Mulsanne corner, sticking behind him. Basically just want to keep the slipstream, to be honest. And as we come into that, catches me out slightly. He braked a little bit earlier than I was expecting him to, but we'll just about get away with it. And as we come up to Indianapolis, was this Arnage? Slip down the inside, but he does get a better drive out the corner. We are coming up to the penalty line, and we consolidate P11. As we make a run through Porsche curves, unfortunately I drift wide over the exit at the end of the Porsche curves, and we pick up a track extension time penalty. Bit of a scruffy end to the lap there. Go deep into the first chicane. Other than that, not a whole lot happens, so we'll just fast forward other than losing the position. But once again we find ourselves in the slipstream. Just using it to hold position. And as we come up to the Mulsanne corner, we're going to have a look down the inside. I did brake a little bit early and a little bit conservatively there, but still made it up the inside. However, he did get the better traction out of the corner, and he is drawing up alongside me, and the Ford does have a better top speed than us. The only reason we could keep up with him previously was in the slipstream. Coming down now to Indianapolis. and unfortunately trying to go too wide through that corner is never going to work, and somehow managed to spin on gravel. Bugbear of mine in this game. It treats gravel as if you're on ice. So obviously in real life you're not going to spin on gravel because you'll just dig into it. On this game you spin as if there is zero grip. So I'd already made the mistake, I'd already gone off, I'd already lost time. The game decides, nah, I'm going to make you lose even more time. But anyway, we'll move on. I can't moan about the game too much when it was my mistake in the first place. So anyway, we're coming for our pit stop. I still haven't worked out whether everyone else actually changes the tyres or not, because the tyres will do 5 laps. But it's worth 7 seconds just to get... Well, no, because it'll be about 2. So it's worth about 6 seconds to get a fresh set of tyres on. So we are on lap 3. Halfway in this race is just towards the end of this long straight. We've lost the position to another Ford who slipstreamed past us, which I'm not too upset about because that does help our pace because we can pick up the slipstream ourselves. And we'll have a look down the inside at the Mulsanne corner. And that was quite a straightforward move in the end. Looked like in the mirror there that he was a bit tail happy as he was getting on the power. So as we come down to Indianapolis, he had a half look up the inside. We drift sideways through Indianapolis, run a little bit over the gravel and lose the position. We'll see if we can pick up the slipstream as we head towards the Porsche curves. That worried me a little bit. He braked a bit earlier than I was expecting. I thought I was going to run into the back of him. But we managed just to... Well, he got back on the power as I was getting down to the same speed, so no harm done. Just about turned in on time. Guy in front did turn in a little bit too early. Is he going to pit this lap? No, so I assume he's already pitted. We'll follow him through the Ford chicane. Now we need to stick with him with this first sector so we can pick up the slipstream down the Mulsanne straight. Which we did just about do, and he does come into this lap, into the pits on this lap. And we are, thanks to pit stops, up into P10. But make a mistake through that chicane and leave myself open to 4S GT, who's coming up behind us, and he's actually giving us the bump draft as we go down the Mulsanne. But I'm thinking at this point, I don't want to be bump drafted. I want to do the bump drafting. So I move just out of his way, let him go through, get into his slipstream, and do the same to him with the idea of taking the position into the Mulsanne corner. We place ourselves up the inside. Just about leaves us enough space. Leaving plenty of space on the exit. And now it's a bit of a drag race down towards Indianapolis. A drag race that we're winning. And we do just get in front. I really don't want to go too wide for this corner again. He sticks his nose in. I'm a little bit more tentative. Make sure we stay on the circuit. I get through Indianapolis okay. Head towards down Arnage. And we're still in front, but he's in my slipstream. This is going to be a drag race up to the Porsche curves. I think whoever gets to the Porsche curves first is going to finish in 10th place. Unfortunately, I've allowed him the inside. I can't move over now. So it's going to be who's bravest going in. And it's not me. Slight contact, but I think that was more me turning in too soon. The only chance I've got now is a good run through here and dive bomb into the Ford chicane. At this moment in time, I am not close enough. And I've gone too wide in that final part. And any chance of getting 10th has evaporated in this race. Particularly with a half-second penalty for track limits, which across the line will turn into a 1 second penalty. We are just over 1 second ahead of the car behind, so we should hold on to 11th. But we do take 10th because Forest GT lost the car coming out of the final corner. So we are gifted 10th place in the end. But that's quite a good race on the final lap. Plenty of space given by both of us. So with that bit of practice done, let's go and do another one. Once again, let's see if we can improve on our qualifying time, try and get us a bit further up the grid. So I'm not halfway through a corner at the start of the race. And as we come into the Ford chicane to complete the lap, will I make it into the 41s? Not quite, 42.5. We shave 3/10 off. That might be a position or two on the grid, depending on who I get matched with. So here we are on the grid, 11th place. I move forward 1 position. Which is slightly better than what it was before. It's kind of that in-between bit. I've dropped off from the guys in front and I've gapped the guys behind. Bit of carnage through the first chicane. We've gained 2 positions. The car's going off. See if we can make it a third with this. Can't quite get out the inside. Go off-road through that corner, but I think we went just slow enough. No, unfortunately not. We do pick up a penalty. It's definitely not a corner 2 cars can go through side by side. But we'll pick up the slipstream of the Ford that got past us. See if he can drag us along. Going to be a helping hand from behind. Pushing us along to catch up to that Ford. I'm not entirely sure why, but I didn't feel the need or the desire to bump draft there. Came out of the draft, was hoping then to go back into the draft, but the Honda's in the way. But fortunately the Ford comes in front of us. But yeah, bump drafting that, we could have been much further up the road. Getting attacked by another Ford on the inside up to the Mulsanne corner. Caught out a little bit by the Ford in front that was going a bit slower than I was expecting. But it's all a bit tight as we run down to Indianapolis. Space on the inside to move over to protect the inside line. Looks like the two Fords behind me are bump drafting each other. As we come up to Indianapolis, just about hold the inside. One Ford goes one way, one Ford goes the other. I'm right in the middle of them, and I end up off the road. I don't think that was ever an intention for either one of them to shove me off the road. I think it was just a consequence of one car being one side and one car being the other, and just an inevitable contact in the end that left me in the gravel, which is a shame. We are now, after this penalty line, going to be last in this race. Let's see if we can give this Porsche a bit of a race. That Lamborghini Huracan was facing the wrong way for the second time on this opening lap. He was one of the ones that went round in the first corner. Porsche almost goes round. At the final corner we do gain that position. Back up to 13th. At the end of the next lap, nothing happened during that lap. We'll come in and box this lap. I don't know if an undercut is a thing on for this particular race, particularly if I'm changing tyres and no one else is. And off we go back into the race. Got no one in front, no one behind. As we come to the end of that lap, we're a little bit closer to the guy in front, a little bit further away from the car behind. But let's see where these two who have just had a pit stop filter out. See if there's anyone who's going to give us a bit of a race. It is the Lamborghini Huracan that spun twice in the opening lap. So as we come through to start our final lap, once again, no one anywhere in front of us, no one anywhere near behind us. Our fastest lap of the race, a 3:43.7. And once again, absolutely nothing happened on that final lap. And we will finish in P12. Maybe without that contact on the opening lap, we could have been looking at a P8, a P7. So only P8 and P7 was who we were racing at the time. So that is going to conclude today's video for Daily Race Seat at Le Mans. Please like and subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and I will see you for the next one. Thank you very much.
PlayStation